Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy, the Casio F91-W wristwatch. This is a classic, a retro joy. There's just a whole lot of background and history with this guy, both good, bad, and ugly, that's for sure. First off, we'll jump into a size comparison against some other similarly priced watches. This is the Casio MRW 200H. This is your Casio Oceanus. Probably not a good size comparison on the wrist, don't you think? There we go. Here is your Timex Expedition Field something or another. Got a review of this guy coming up here soon. Your Casio Duro, mounted on a really terrible bracelet. But basically what you can see here is that this guy is a very small, and of course a Casio Pro Trek, which this is much smaller than. But anyways, this is a small little watch. Oh my god, is this tiny. And here, for scale, this is a regular, boring Bic pen sort of thing. So, size comparison, yeah, tiny little watch. Let's go ahead and jump into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly about this particular wristwatch. So on the good side, first and foremost, this guy is legible. 100%. You can always read this guy. The viewing angles are really good on the LED, LCD, that is. And that's a beautiful thing. And frankly, it's more than can be said for some of Casio's other work, which falls apart in the viewing pretty quickly there. So that's nice. The strap on this guy is comfortable. It's some kind of a rubber, plasticky something or another, but it's absolutely fine. And the buckle here is plastic, which is good if you work in an environment where scratching is a problem, like at a car wash or something like that. It's got a nice retro chic to it. You know, I'm not going to say this is fashionable, and I get the impression that, well, my fiance would be seen in public with me wearing it, but I'm not so sure she'd be thrilled about it. But either way, it's got a bit of a retro thing going on, and it's more interesting than something that is ugly and cheap like your Grand Touring here, which is a $5 wristwatch. So there's that. It is very small and it is very thin, which means it's good. You can, you know, remove the strap and hang it in random places, adhere them. They're very easy in that way. Nice, thin, tiny. It's got some good features to it as well. If you hit the little mode button here, you can go into the alarm mode. You can go into the stopwatch mode, and you can even set the time. Go figure, right? And so that's nice. And there's also a 24-hour time option, although it doesn't make a whole lot of sense given that I'm filming this at 10 in the a.m. And it shows you the day of the week and the date up top there. Beautiful thing. It is a very lightweight watch to the extent where you're wearing it, you just don't feel it. Including strap and everything, you're looking at 0.7 ounces. That's really lightweight. And so that's a beautiful thing. It does have a light to it. I'm going to see if I can show this to you. You can see that there's a little bit of an LED light that goes on there, but it's honestly, it's really crappy. If you're looking for full illumination, this'll do the trick. It'll let you read the time, but you're not going to be super thrilled about the world as you do. So they sell an upgraded model with the full illuminator, but you know, this does the trick. And it is pretty damned accurate, is the last of the good, in that this particular guy has been running less than 0.1 seconds per day, which is incredible. That's really good, even for quartz. So I'm really impressed with this guy. Over the course of a month, it's like, I don't know, 0.5 seconds fast. That's a beautiful thing. So on the good side, it's legible, it's comfortable, it's thin, it's tiny. It's got some nice features to it. It's lightweight, it's kind of illuminated, and it is really accurate. Let's look at the great real quick. So on the great side, this watch is absurdly cheap. This is a $10 wristwatch. Absolutely $10 all day long. And it's probably going to be about that price elsewhere in the world as well. And so that's honestly pretty great. Anything you can get for $10 that's fully functional and isn't a total piece of crap like your Grand Touring over here, which was a $5 wristwatch that really feels like a $5 wristwatch. You're doing good. This is a capable tool for $10, and that's just great. The price on this is just out of this world good. So let's jump into the bad. So on the bad side, this is using a battery, which will need to be replaced, although to be honest with you, it's a $10 watch. It's probably going to cost you more to replace the battery than to buy a brand new one. It's a sad reflection on our consumer culture, but such is life, I suppose. It is also very small. On my wrist, and I have small wrists, this guy kind of disappears. It's almost comically small, and so if you are a bigger human than I am, this is gonna be just hilarious on you. As I said, the illumination just isn't that great. I mean, it does the trick, you can read the time, but it's ugly, and not a big fan there. The buttons are a little hard to get to on the wrist. It's just this little metal pusher here. I mean, you can do it, it's not a big deal, but I'm a fan of watches that have a bigger kind of pusher, so you've got a better chance of really hitting that button there. Something to keep in mind. And then finally on the bad side, the water resistance on this guy isn't great. You're looking at 3 atmospheres, which is usually defined as fine for rain or splashing or something like that. You can wash your hands, no worries. But you can't take it in the shower. You can't go swimming with it. It's, you know, you just have to think about this as a watch that's okay being splashed, but not okay being submerged. But the thing is, if there's a problem, you get thrown into a pool or something like that, you're out $10. Oh no, not the end of the world. So I'm more willing to put up with that here because, yeah, not a big deal. So that's the bad. It's using a battery that's going to have to be replaced because it's a quartz watch. It's very small. The illumination ain't great. The buttons are a little hard to get to, and the water resistance isn't so resistant. Let's go into the very entertaining ugly. So the ugly on this watch is international terrorism. Yep, that's right. This is actually one of the most creative bits of ugly that I've had in any piece of gear. This particular watch, the Casio F91-W, and its silver version are actually flagged by the United States intelligence services as a sign that you work for the Al-Qaeda. I'm not making this up. Seriously, guys. Go Google this. Apparently, some Al-Qaeda bomb somebody or another decided that these were a great timer. And as such, anybody who's wearing one of these watches, and there were actually people who are like in Guantanamo Bay because they were wearing one of these watches, which is disturbing. But apparently that's grounds for suspicion that you are a terrorist or a bomb maker or something like that if you're wearing one of these guys specifically. Okay. I don't really know what you can do with that as a user of this watch potentially. But there you go. The ugly of this watch is that apparently to certain intelligence agencies, you wearing it makes you seem like a terrorist, and that's probably not a good thing, right? So yeah, that's the ugly on this watch is terror. Go figure. Let's jump into the final conclusion here. In conclusion, this is honestly the best $10 watch I've dealt with. And there's a reason they still make so damn many of these, because it's perfect for a lot of roles. I'm given it's not going to be bumping the Patek Philippe's off of your wrist. If you're a Rolex guy, you're probably not going to sell your Rolex after seeing this little beauty here. But the thing is, it is great for a bunch of roles. It's great as a first watch to see if you like wearing a watch at all. That way, if you don't, you're out $10. Oh no! And you kind of got a cool retro chic to it. It's perfect as a disposable watch. If you're going to do something you know is probably going to destroy your watch and may well destroy you, this is not a bad thing to wear. Because, you know, go figure, right? This is perfect as a beater sort of watch. You know, if you've got a bunch of mechanical watches and you just need something cheapy to wear when you're, I don't know, on the bike or whatever, this is a pretty good option. It's perfect as a backup sort of thing. So, you know, throw it in your truck or something like that. Frankly, if the clock in your truck is broken, just take the band off of one of these guys and stick it to the freaking dashboard, and you'll be fine. And it's also apparently perfect as a ticket to scenic Guantanamo Bay, and that's... Oh, wait, no, that's not a good thing at all. Oh, the intelligence apparatus. Ay, ay, ay. But okay, anyways, this is a great watch if you need a good EDC watch on the cheap. It's a great approach there. If for some reason you need a watch and for some reason you got $10 to spend, then by God, this is probably a good place to put it. And honestly, even if you're not sure, this is $10. There's not a whole lot at risk here, and you're going to do way better than some of your even cheaper little Amazon specials shipped straight from China. At least this is a piece of quality engineering versus this, which is a piece of, well, you know what it's a piece of. Anyways, I hope this has been interesting to you. I hope that you enjoy your F91W if you pick one up, and that nobody ever hassles you for it, because hopefully the world's not that crazy. But most of all, I hope you had a good time with this review and that you have yourself an absolutely wonderful rest of your day.